In this episode of Negative Modifier, we'll be playing the game Delta Green. Delta Green, by design, tackles various mature themes that may be uncomfortable or triggering for listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Alright, so it's evening. This is Louisiana, so stuff will start closing relatively soon, but you kind of stroll in. There's a kind of older woman behind the counter. She greets you heartily. Howdy! What can I be helping y'all find?
Well, we're in town on a fishing expedition.
Well, I could assume that much. Not a lot of, strangers coming through here. I'm Mabel. I guess I own the store at this point since my dear Harold passed away. What brings you to town? You said fishing, right?
Yeah.
We have some exceptional fishing in this neck of the woods, so long as you like catfish and, I guess, alligators.
Yeah, we're not trying to fish for alligators.
Do you sell any live bait here?
Indeed we do. Are you looking for night crawlers? You looking for bait fish? You looking for just good old hunks of meat?
Well, I guess
hunks of meat for the gator.
You don't know much about catfish then, do you, dearie? They'll eat almost anything they can fit in the side of their mouths. Dead things, live things, babies if they're big enough. They are truly savage creatures.
What? What did you guys bring me to do?
You've never heard of a catfish swallowing a baby whole? They don't happen often, but if they get big enough and that mouth gets larger, they'll just gulp and that baby's gone.
Well, where do they get biggest around here?
Probably in the Mississippi, both just enough space for them to grow big. Wherever's food's plentiful. They're one of those weird animals that they grow as big as their ecosystem will allow them to. As long as they can keep fed, they'll keep getting bigger and bigger until they can't get any bigger anymore. They don't have an old age or anything. There's some truly ancient catfish out there.
Do you have a community board or anything? Where
sure, it's right over there.
I do a check to see what's on there, or just
Yep. Give me a search.
10 out of 40 success.
All right, so you do find some stuff. You find kind of a variety of flyers. Most of them are just kind of people advertising hunting and fishing guides. You do find a couple kind of more off-color things. You find remainder of something that does have that does kind of reference TDC. It's in big kind of block letters across the top of it, but it's been kind of torn across and covered up with a couple other flyers, so you can't quite get information off that. But it does look like someone tore it down at least. But you do kind of underneath it's TDC, and then you see TOR, and then it's kind of torn off at that point.
Was anybody around me in the store? Can I point it out to them?
People that work in the store, or the other people in your team?
On the team. Who's by me? I don't know. How about I flag Agent Jotun, and it looks like somebody tried to get rid of a community happening here, maybe.
Yeah, so I'm gonna run this one past you. Why would you tear down part of the sign?
That's a good question.
If you're trying to get rid of it, why would you leave any of it up? I mean, assuming you know what they are.
You want people to know they're here, but you don't want them to know what they're doing, maybe?
Seems a bit odd, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's something to ask this cashier about, or you let it go?
Well, if you can come up with a tactful way to do so, I will encourage you to give it a shot.
Excuse me, ma'am. We were hoping to find something to do this weekend while we're in town. Maybe some kind of community gathering or festival or something like that. I noticed there's a poster here that looks kind of torn. Do you know what this was?
Oh, we get lots of posters. Occasionally the local deputy and police chief come through and kind of clean it up. We get a lot. Not all of them are of savory types. Nothing planned as far as I know for the town, though. It's a relatively quiet time of year.
What exactly would constitute an unsavory poster?
Well, I'm sure you Yankee types have all types of misconceptions about us here in Louisiana, and I would be remiss if I acted as though some of those people don't exist, and we try hard in small towns this not to make sure that they represent the majority of us, but occasionally they come in town and try and make a ruckus, and normally they leave without much happening, but it's terrible what they do occasionally.
Well, we wouldn't want to run into anybody like that while we're out fishing. Where do you know where we should try to avoid?
Oh, I don't think there's anyone like that around here. It's been a while since there was one of them groups in the area. I think the sheriff ran the last of them off.
Really?
Well, that's good.
When would that have been? Did you have a problem with it?
No, they were just here being a ruckus and annoying and causing problems. We may not look like it, but we are trying to grow the town. The town has fallen on slightly hard times in the last couple years or so. I'm not sure how much you know about Louisiana, but people are moving to the big cities and away from where they have spent generations with some frequency.
We see that happen in lots of parts of the country. But when you say they're causing problems, I'm just curious. What sort of problems were you running into?
I don't remember the exact details of it. It was something. I don't remember what it was. Just general causing a ruckus and being a nuisance.
Any, I mean, was it an organization or we just talking hoodlums?
I don't remember the exact details. I tried to keep my nose out of it. They weren't especially terrible. I think it was more kind of they were more up north, but they were trickling down here for some reason.
Up north.
Ma'am, I've got to mail a letter. Could you point me to the post office?
Indeed, I can. It's right across the street. That's the gas station and also the post office over there.
Gas station, post office. Any other sites in this town that we should stop by and see while we're here?
Well, not in town necessarily. There's obviously the park nearby, but beyond that, no, not much to speak of, really.
All right, so I'll take some of that live fish bait that we asked you about.
Would that be fish or would that be worms?
Oh, I mean, what would you recommend for catfish? Sounds like
Oh, they'll eat anything. You just want a lot of it on your hook.
Well, I mean, if we're looking for big catfish, would you think live fish over?
It'll probably get their attention.
All right, we'll take a little. We'll take some of that, enough to catch us some fish wherever we do end up fishing. Also open to recommendations of good places to fish and places to avoid. Places that might have, big scaly types that like to eat folk.
Just stay out of the water and you'll be fine.
But we got to go to the water to get the fish.
Yeah, don't fall in. You can see a gator on land. It's harder to see them when they're in the water.
Okay, so when you see them on land, that's good. When you don't, that's bad.
You don't know much about alligators, do you, hon?
No.
They can run surprisingly fast for maybe not long distances, but longer than most people expect.
You ever run into one yourself?
Dozens of times, but that was more my husband's purview of dealing with them. Occasionally they'd wander right into the store. He'd have to drag them out. Often we call Daryl or Gus, though. They're the local experts on de-gatoring.
I'm sorry, they just walk right into the store.
Well, if you forget to lock up, occasionally Gator will wander in, trying to find somewhere warm to hole up for the night. Maybe a quick snack to eat. They can smell the fish and the worms.
Huh. So you just come open the store in the morning and there's a alligator laying in aisle 6.
Doesn't happen all the time, but yes, I suppose it could be in aisle 6.
Well, that sounds terrifying.
She kind of shrugs at this.
All right, well, thank you kindly, ma'am.
Be safe. If you need anything else, come on back.
Oh, we will.
All right. What do you say we go to the sheriff's office if we can find it? It's the only hint I got out of that. That and that the people were trickling in down from the north.
I'm fine. I just want to figure out what we're going to talk to the sheriff about. It's not.
Well, so it's not sheriff. It is a new police station.
I'm not sure what we're going to talk to the police about. If we wander. It's not. I usually don't go fishing. Just wander into the police station, start talking to them about cults.
True.
I do.
Well, again, it's not necessarily a cult you're looking into. It is a kind of white supremacist neo-Nazi group. Like, it is... That's what they are, technically. Like, it's... Delta Green's got a special attention on them because of their link to these kind of things that Clyde dug up, but...
I know the cops ain't gonna like me, but I can walk in there, as a reporter and ask some questions.
I don't mind that idea.
I quite like the idea, actually. You might have to take off your fishing gear.
Would it make sense for any of us to go with her? Or should we just...
Oh, I usually just do these things.
All right.
I think we should hang back so that if word gets around there's somebody asking, they don't know it's 4 people. They think it's just 1.
No, but we could send in Jackal as a photographer or something.
Oh, we can do that, I guess.
Listen, let's say the police are in on it. Let's say they're either part of the organization or they're taking bribes from the organization. We deal with a lot of police forces that are taking bribes from, as we put it, unsavory types. And so, let's say that's the case. Let's say they're ripping down the signs to help cover it up, and they're just doing a bad job of it because they didn't rip down all of a piece of paper, which is, seems like a pretty obvious, thing you'd follow through on. But, so it's just entirely possible that, they are well aware that they are integrated with this group, that they are allowing the group, that they're protecting the group, or that they are part of the group. And I just think it might be better if, you didn't go in alone, that they knew that you weren't alone. They might not even know about all 4 of us. But
might be less likely to try to pull something.
Right.
I guess another idea would be to stake out and see what the police officers do, where they go.
I mean, basically, I could just kick the hornet's nest by walking in there and asking a bunch of questions and then see how they react.
Well, I think that's fine. I just think one of us should go in there with you.
I'm happy to oblige. Give me a pen and paper, I'll take notes.
And jet lag, and I'll keep the engine running. Well,
all right.
Metaphorically.
Okay, so 2 of you are going inside the police station, 2 of you are staying outside.
Yep.
All right.
I'll let you do the talking, Jumper. I'll be your intern.
All right, I will, grab my little press badge with my name on it. Just kind of pin it to my belt, and come walking in to the police station.
All right. So you walk in. It's a typical small-town police station. At the front desk is a kind of farmer-looking police officer of some kind. He kind of looks at you as you come in, kind of surprised. Doesn't recognize you, kind of like...
I smile and, friendly and combative as possible as I say, hey there, I'm a reporter, an independent investigator, reporter, working for a magazine actually that was, did a story a while back and following up on it. Did an expose on a certain, alt-right racist group. And my sources kind of lead me to believe that they might be down here, and I was looking for some confirmation on that.
Well, ma'am, we haven't had that type around here for going on a decade at this point. We ran them out a few years back at a minimum. That type's not welcome around these parts. By the way, my name is Officer Harlan Reed, and you are?
Oh, Aubrey Black. Like I said, I'm just an independent investigator here, reporter.
Well, Miss Black,
So,
welcome to
well,
Livonia. You come here hunting, what you say, white supremacists?
yeah. They kind of went by the moniker the TTC. Have you ever heard of them?
TTC.
I believe
TTC or
that's
TDC?
TDC, Audrey.
TTC. Yeah.
You must forgive me. A variety of groups around here have short, uninspired abbreviations for their names. The answer is maybe, but also all it takes down here is for a group of people to get dumb enough and drunk enough to give themselves some type of silly name, and it sticks, and they go around claiming to be so-and-so, or the witnesses of whatnot, or the heralds of so-and-so, or the deliverers of whatchamacallit, and, well, it's... Yeah, you have to understand, ma'am. I'm not trying to be difficult. It's just hard to kind of keep all the various fringe groups that insist on legitimacy down here straight.
Yeah, but they were fairly organized, and well, I understand it. You had a group that moved in here quite recently, a little while back, and it kind of matches the description of this group I was hunting.
Hunting?
Well, I mean, I'm just looking for confirmation for the story. Hunting may be a strong word. I'm just looking for their whereabouts. Want to know where they went to.
I don't know. Groups like that scatter to all parts. I can check our files or something like that to see if anything with the name TDC existed. Do you happen to know what TDC used to stand for?
Oh, it was some strange abbreviation for the witnesses of something.
How does witnesses get turned into a T?
Oh, I really don't know. Like I said, it was strange words. But it translated into witness.
So it was probably Cajun or Creole or something along those lines.
Yeah, very much so.
I can check our files. I can check with the chief as well, but I don't remember anything with that type of name around here.
I mean, any kind of help you can give me on this, that'd be much appreciated. Then I'll just be out of your hair if I.
It's a relatively quiet town,
to give my editor.
We have some drunks, we have some disorderlies, we have some rowdiness, we have the occasional animal attack, but beyond that, things have been quiet here for the most part.
Well, if you could check on that for me, that'd be great. I'd be much appreciated.
I can look around. Is there a way I can be contacting you, Miss Black? Any type of card or where you happen to be staying or located at?
Here's my card. Just call this number, and you can get a hold of me, and I'll come swing right back by.
I'll see what I can find. I will be in touch.
Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I'll be in town for a few days, so.
Yes, I'll see what I can find, and I will pass it along. I don't expect to find anything, though. TDC is kind of a vague set of letters to go off of, and, well, like I said, various groups pop up, make a name for themselves, and then die off pretty quickly. It's like idiots in the woods with firecrackers and fireworks. They're more prone to blow their own hands off than actually hurt anyone.
Fair enough. All right, well, you have a nice day, sir.
Much obliged, and Miss Black, welcome to Livonia. Yeah. All right, so you go back outside.
Yep. I will go straight out to the vehicle and, jump in and be like, well, I didn't really get any hard intel. I don't know if I was getting the runaround or if he was just didn't know anything about him. But they'll now know somebody's looking for him, and that might get them to react and give us an indication of where they're at.
Well, what can we do to monitor their reaction?
Well, it's a pretty small town. We should be able to pick up if they're tailing us, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could stake out the sheriff's department, I guess, but I don't know if they'd really do anything here. Seems like they would probably try to meet up somewhere else. Unless they're just that secure and they're control of the town.
All right. Well, our last stop, I guess, would be the post office.
You already have to just you're going to the gas station / post office / town hall.
Just trying to think of a reason that we could be there.
I
Making
thought
sure
somebody
your
had to
fishing
mail
permits are
liquor.
valid. You might need gas. You have driven like a half hour. It's a good enough
It's
reason.
all wood building.
You pick up some alligator jerky to compare.
I can go pose an interesting question to the post office.
Here's a question I had for some of you guys. Well, I mean, I don't think they would, but would you think this organization would file for, religious tax exempt?
Possible.
Shouldn't something like that be on file at City Hall?
Also possible. And see, what organizations. I mean, they might have a list of the organizations on file. We could check it out. My other question was I was going to see if I could talk to the post office about how you mail. This might be a terrible idea. I was going to talk about how to mail to, unofficial addresses if that ever happens. But they wouldn't do that. They just tell you a P.O. box, wouldn't they? Well,
What
we can
about
check-
saying you were going to try to send a mail to Big Joe and it got returned to sender, so you don't have the right address and you're trying to find the right address for that guy? That is a good idea.
And I mean, he probably does have a P.O. box, and they'll just tell you, oh, his P.O. box is right over there. And that'll confirm that he has a P.O. box.
We could do a stakeout at that point.
Jet lag, I love the idea. I think you should do it.
That I can do. Any other ideas before we go in there?
All right, so you're driving from the police station to the post office, gas station, town hall.
Yeah, and I kind of want to just shits and giggles. I kind of want to make a walk around to see how secure the city hall looks. Like, how hard would it be to break into that?
Sure, but I guess we'll get to that in a second. As you're driving away, one of you give me an alertness check.
Oh, what? Check.
Alertness.
I mean,
20 out of 50. Yeah.
As you're pulling off, you do see a pickup truck kind of start up, and maybe it's following you, maybe it's not. You can't quite tell, but it does seem to kind of suspiciously start right as you're pulling away. But it does kind of drive past you as you keep going and stuff like that.
Can we look in the driver's seat? Is there anybody there? Well,
That's a person. Yeah, that's a person.
Man, woman.
Man, as best you can tell, they kind of drive past pretty quickly, though. It's hard to tell. It's a black pickup truck, though.
Do they have a license plate?
Yeah, it's nothing too abnormal about it, but...
Can we...
Crazy bumper stickers or anything?
No crazy bumper stickers. You trying to get the license plate number?
Yeah.
Sure. Give me a... I'll just give it to you. Yeah, you get the numbers down.
I'll ask our friendly DEA agent if we can do anything like that.
yeah, I'll take a look when we get back to my computer. I'm also going to pull arrest records locally here if I can and see if I can find anything interesting that way.
Sure. All right, so you're going to the town hall thing? Who's going in?
Guess that'll be Agent Jetlag.
I can go with you.
All right, so whoever's going in, you go in. You walk inside, there's two men kind of behind the counter. One of them's kind of off towards the side. That's the gas station. He's in kind of gas station attendant gear, coveralls. The other one's kind of behind a desk that's operating as the town hall / post office part of it. Welcome. What can I do you gentlemen for?
Well, I kind of have an odd request. We're from out of town, and
I
Oh,
can see that.
we're that bad, huh? Well, we're here on a little fishing expedition, and just the other day we had gotten a minor vehicle altercation here, and the other individual gave me his address to send a note to with insurance information, etc., because he had to go away. He called himself Joe Haskin, I believe, and the address he gave me was returned to sender. So uh, he must not have given me the right number, or I wrote it down wrong or something. I wonder if you could help me find out where he might be so that I can get in contact with him about this insurance claim.
Well, fella, I can't exactly go giving out people's names all willy-nilly, and you have the internets, I assume, where you're from. Even we have those here, maybe not the fastest version, but trying to track someone down, I might recommend the police chief or the police office, the police station of some kind. They're probably better off at finding people. What was the name you were looking for again?
Joe Haskin?
It sounds like a man that might live in these parts, but again, I as a law-abiding member of the proud postal service, I can't just be giving out names all willy-nilly. It's a violation of privacy, and we do appreciate our privacy around here. What was your name again?
John Franklin.
Well, I'm Gus. Welcome to our small little town of Livonia.
Hey, Gus. We met Mabel over at the general store, and she said they used to help them take care of their gator problem.
Yes. Me and Daryl kind of nods his head at the other guy in the store. We engage in the occasional gator rustling. It's not quite the glorious retirement of a Marine we expected, but turns out wrestling gators versus some armed combat, not too different a skill set.
Marine, well, thank you for your service, sir. I believe one of my compatriots someone was in the military, right?
Jackal was. I'm outside, though.
Yeah, yes, he was. One of our buddies that we're here hoping to fish with. He's military. Might bring him in. Talk to you.
You'll find many people in this town have served in one form or another. Gets you out and gets you back is maybe the way of thinking of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What'd you say brought you to town again?
Fishing trip.
Fishing trip.
Interesting choice, Lavinia, for that. I suppose it's not the worst choice, but what you fishing for?
Well, we heard there was some good catfish around here.
I suppose that's correct. There's still better spots for... Did you boys not just get lost on your way to New Orleans, or New Orleans, as I suspect you tourists might call it? We don't get a lot of, to be blunt, out-of-towners in these here parts.
Kind of what we were looking for. We were hoping to find a, place that's a little off the beaten path. Just get away for a while.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Who'd you say you were looking for again?
I don't remember his name. Hey, John, do you remember his name?
His name was Haskin, last name Haskin.
Haskin.
Haskin was the way I wrote it down.
Haskin. Hey, Daryl. Do you know of a Haskin that lives around these parts? Got the guy on the other side of the store, kind of looks up. I don't know. Maybe. Couple Haskins in town, I guess. And you said you were in a car altercation with this here Miss Haskin?
Yes, sir. Little fender bender.
Haskin. Why does that name ring a bell? Hey, Daryl, you know what type of car Haskin drives? I don't know what type of car he drives, Gus. I don't even know there's even a Haskin in town. That's fair. Tell you what, you leave his mail here with me, and if he comes in looking for it, I'll see if he gets it, or if someone, I can ask around for you, I suppose. Again, I'd recommend the police station. They might have more to know. Do be careful on your fishing, though, given the recent alligator attacks. It's all the buzz about town. Someone's warned you about that already, right?
I'm sorry, recent attacks? No.
It's the damnedest thing. Couple other people from out of town were found up, washed up on the sort of, kind of the banks of the Mississippi a little ways over, just torn to shreds. Maybe the biggest alligator bites I have ever seen. Real unfortunate types. They didn't pass through town, so I didn't know what was what with that. But the police chief was looking into that, I believe. Yeah, I don't know the story there, but truly savage and grisly deaths at the hands of them gators. Kind of leaning on the counter a little bit for this. Like there's some vibe going on right now.
Where did these individuals wash up? We'd probably want to steer clear of that.
Basically, aim yourself at the Mississippi and head towards it from town, and that's more or less where they washed up. I don't know the exact details. I'm not the local lawman, just a local source of gossip, you could say. But yeah, no, I didn't even see him. Just allegedly, this real grisly to look at.
Local gossip.
It happens, though. The death roll is a real thing that one must be careful of.
Very interesting. You said you are the local gossip?
You hear things. I'm not the local gossip, just you hear things coming through town. It's a small town. 3 or 4 tourists wash up, torn to shreds by gators. People talk.
Tourists.
What else could they be? Not a lot of non-local folk roaming through here. Occasional trucker or something, but they have a certain look to them, I suppose. That being said, they could have washed down from any other point north of here on the Mississippi. Could have come all the way from all up north. I'm not sure how far that river even goes.
All right, well, any other good gossip we should know about?
Nah, nothing too noteworthy. You boys looking for something specific? He's making some real eye contact right now. Like he's, yeah.
John,
I describe his behavior as maybe slightly shifty at this point. Like there's an intrigue going on that's not necessarily normal for just someone making idle conversation.
John, we looking for anything specific?
Well, just as my friend here mentioned a little bit ago, that we decided to come to this area because it's a little less cosmopolitan, you might say, than New Orleans or some of the largest cities. We just want to make sure we're associating with the right types of people and fishing in the right kind of areas, you might say.
Well, as long as you stay in town, you should be fine. I know your instinct might be to drift northward, but I would definitely avoid the town of Torres, or former town of Torres. It's got a bit of a reputation these days. The river can be dangerous, though, I suppose. You sure you're here to do some fishing?
I mean, John, are we open to other activities?
We're looking for good ways to pass the time.
Well, fishing's a mighty fine way to pass that time. I would hate to think that you all came to town for some unsavory business. I know we have a bit of a reputation down here for such things, but we work hard to keep our town clean.
Well, we're not here to cause any trouble or anything.
No, but we are quite curious. So when you say that there's a town with a reputation for what exactly?
Well, I shouldn't call it a town anymore. Torres has been abandoned for quite a few years now. It went from unincorporated territory to no territory. I think it's legally considered a ghost town at this point, but you just best avoid it. It's stay in town, you'll be fine. Torres is a different place.
I mean, but that sounds kind of interesting. Why? If it's a ghost town, what's the harm in checking it out?
You gentlemen might be assuming ghost town in the Western sense, kind of the town remains. The Louisiana equivalent of a ghost town is a much more tragic, slow decline. I'm not sure you've ever seen a town die in slow motion before, but that's what kind of happens around here. People just drift away, leaving land behind. Torres is one of those areas. I'm not sure what you know of the surrounding area, but we have more unincorporated territory than legitimate township at this point.
We noticed. That's one of the reasons we wanted to come out here.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was some mighty fine information you provided us. We will steer clear of Mississippi, where those alligators were found, and we'll try to avoid that Torres area. You guys got any secret fishing holes you want to divulge to some poor, helpless outsiders like ourselves?
None that I wish to divulge. Daryl, you got anything you wish to divulge on where places to fish? Nope. They can find their own spots to fish.
It was worth a shot. Well, thank you. How about I leave my name? Here's my John Franklin, and I'll give you my phone number in case this Haskin comes to memory at all.
Sure. Again, we're not really in the habit of giving out people's addresses here at the post service, but...
Well, if he comes in then, and you just feel free to give him my name, he'll know because we were in that little accident together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Can
he'll
Just
be
tell him to
interested in getting his taillet paid for.
Well, you gentlemen, have a good one.
Thank you.
You as well.
Took you long enough. You must have learned something.
Well, it seems there's been some alligator attacks all the way east here, basically straight east towards the Mississippi. Some unusual alligator attacks from a particularly large bite, I believe is what he said.
That is what he said.
And Torres, Torres is this town they told us to avoid for reasons that were kind of unclear, and they did not wish to go into detail, but it seems to be a town that just slowly died off, I guess you could say, relatively recently, but people seem to avoid it for whatever reason.
Both those things sound like they might interest Miss Pine.
Do you think now it's time to check in with our good friendly boss here?
No, I just think we finally have a lead here we can work off of.
We did not make much progress with the Joe Haskin angle. They did not recall him or were unwilling to mention that they knew him, so we're still at kind of a standstill there.
They did suggest that we check out the police station, ask if we can find him there. The cover story was that we got an offender bender with him.
Well, only two of us take going to the police station, so the other two could go in and post a different story.
It's true.
That would be you two again, I'm afraid.
Well, we did it once, we can do it again.
I agree.
Back to the police station.
So what's the plan after that? Are we going to try to hit up Torres by night, or do you want to, under cover of nightfall, or should we take a break? Catch some shut-eye for the night or something like that?
Would you want to go there at night?
Yeah, I'm not interested in going to unsavory places without the daylight to at least alleviate my fears a tiny bit.
Unless going there at night makes us less, I don't know, conspicuous?
I don't know how that would be.
Well, I'm just theorizing that.
Conspicuous if we went there at night.
I'm theorizing that most cults don't operate in broad daylight if they're doing anything interesting, but that could just be, stereotypically what we're looking for.
Again, it's not necessarily a cult. It's just been a kind of white supremacist group that's been linked to iconography that Delta Green is tagged as potentially kind of noteworthy. Again, it might be nothing. You're here just kind of confirming that is indeed nothing or something.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go talk to the police officer.
All right, so back to the police station?
Back to the police station.
All right. Same police station as before. Officer Harlan's kind of at the front desk again. Kind of sees you as you come in. Obviously, you're new people, so you don't know him necessarily. Jumper, did you kind of mention this guy to the team that went in previously?
Yeah, I mean, I just said that, that I didn't know if he was like giving me the runaround or if he just literally didn't know.
Okay. All right, so you walk in, he sees you, kind of Welcome to Livonia Police Station. Can I help you, gentlemen?
Hello, officer. My name is John Franklin. I'm from out of town. And I was wondering if you could maybe help out with a little problem we're having. Just a couple days back, we got into a minor fender bender with one of your local boys here. His name was Joe Haskin, I believe. And when we were exchanging insurance information, I must have written down his phone number wrong or something because I cannot get a hold of this guy for the life of me. And I'm wondering if there's any way you could maybe let us know where he works or something like that, where I could maybe somehow go get in touch with him.
Well, I am Officer Harlan Reed. Welcome to the town of Livonia. Truly sorry that you had to come all this way to try and track this mountain down. Sure, you could have made a phone call or something that we could have maybe helped you out with. What was the name again?
His name or my name?
His.
His name. Haskin. Last name was Haskin.
Haskin. Kind of like type sign into the computer. Would that be a Joseph Haskin?
Well, yeah, he called himself Joe Haskin.
A fender bender, you say? Well, we have no record here of him being an accident of any kind. According to our quick database here, he's a moral, upstanding member of the community.
It was very minor. I mean, it's just a broken tail light, so we did not feel the need to call the authorities, such as yourself, in on such a minor case as this.
But you come all the way here to look in on a man trying to get a tail light fixed? Whose tail light did you say was broken again? His or yours?
His.
His.
That's mighty charitable, I suppose. Going out of your way to make sure your debts are paid off, but okay, yeah. What are you looking for? I guess. Like, I'm assuming you gave him. Your number as well to be in contact. Like, in the nicest way possible. If he hasn't tried to claim insurance or track you down to get his lights fixed, I suspect he doesn't really care that much. We're kind of a DIY type of community. He probably just got home, swapped it out himself.
Well, that may be. I don't know. I just want to close loose ends, I guess you could say, before we head out. I don't want to get a phone call back home in Florida, where I'm from, asking for fixes. It's just easier if we can do it now while we're still in the city.
I understand. Seems like a lot of trouble just to deal with a light, though. That Joe Haskin.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. We said we were going to follow up with each other because it looked like a taillight, but maybe there was some underlying damage we didn't notice. Because this was just, in the quick parking lot, so.
And you said you've been in town for a little while now?
Yep.
When did you come to town, out of curiosity? So I can probably track this accident. Did the accident happen here in town?
It happened, yeah, just outside town. We were staying just outside of town recently, so whatever highway that hotel was on. Do you remember?
Said something about Reagan?
Yeah, Ronald Reagan Interstate or something.
Uh-huh. Feels like you two boys are going to an awful lot of trouble over just a minor paint scrape up.
Oh, we just want to make sure that we're, we don't want to leave. We don't want to skip town on him.
Give me a persuade roll on this one.
One or both?
Either one of you. But you first one passed, so. Yeah,
17 out of 50.
Yeah, so he kind of nods his head suspiciously after this. Again, your story is a little bit kind of wonky. Like, most people wouldn't go to this much effort to settle a minor scrape up like this, kind of. And in theory, he'd be the one contacting you, but not the other way around. We at the police office aren't typically in the business of giving out the home address or personal information of our citizens to people trying to track them down, but if you leave your name and number here, I can get in contact with Joseph and pass the information along if you're so concerned about making good on your promise.
I think that would be amenable.
Well, John, I mean, if he took your number down wrong or something, or, I mean, I don't remember him writing anything down at all. So, I mean, if he's unable to get a hold of you, I don't know why he would come to the police station to get your information.
Give me a human int.
Me?
Yeah.
19 out of 60 success.
He believes the story you're telling you, but he's also really keyed in on what you're saying, I guess. Like, he is suspicious of what you're saying to him.
Not sure what to do with that information.
I kind of write it off more as, I guess, like, you've become, like, this is not a normal level of kind of insistence on making good on a promise, I guess. Like, it's a decent enough cover story, kind of, for most people, but maybe the insistence of trying to track this guy down started to kind of making him a little bit concerned as to what's going on, or kind of raising an eyebrow at it. I got no reason to kind of doubt the story just yet, but at the same time, like, also for the record, like, 4 out-of-towners have now walked into the police station in a relatively short period of time. That's probably not a normal thing for this neck of the woods.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't, John, I guess, yeah, leave your number, and, it's a small town. Maybe we'll run into him or something before we leave.
Yeah, we can't ask for more. I mean, we tried, right? Right off the start, there's nothing else. We're not legally responsible for anything, like you said. We did our best to get a hold of him.
In theory, yeah. If you want to give where you're staying, I can maybe give him that contact information or something along those lines. Where were you staying at again?
What was the name of that place?
It's the inn outside of town, or maybe it's in town. It's just up the road.
You're giving him the actual address or the name of the place you're staying at, right?
I was avoiding saying it.
Okay, no, that's what I was confirming.
I forgot what it was called, but we might not be there more than another night or two.
Well, all right then. Hopefully he'll get in contact soon. Well, gentlemen, I hope you enjoy the remainder of your time in Livonia. Anything else I can help you with while you're here?
Know any good fishing spots?
There's plenty of good fishing spots, but I'm not going to give up my own personal places.
Do you know anyone else's personal places? Where can we go fishing where we wouldn't find anybody?
Looking to avoid people or looking to stay safe, I guess, because anywhere up and down the Mississippi will, in theory, be good fishing.
I mean, we just, we don't want to be bothered. We're not up to anything weird. Just didn't want to, just wanted to get away for a bit. Maybe even camp out for a night.
You might want to try the national park then. Just south of here. It runs right up against the river. That's probably good enough fishing by your standards there.
Yeah, the Attawaichu or something like that.
Sure.
All right. Well, we'll take that under advisement. John, do you need anything else?
Nothing else comes to my mind. Thank you very much for your time, officer, as well as your advice. Here is my name and my number. If he happens to come by, feel free to give him our number.
Much obliged, and do enjoy your time in town, gentlemen. All right. Going back to the hotel, what's the plan at this point?
Well, I guess we go back to the car first, or the truck.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
All right, so best we got is that he's in their database. Sounded like.
So he does exist.
Right. They wouldn't give us where he lives. Or any other information.
Well, I guess that leaves us with
protecting him or anything like that.
I'm not sure. Jetlag, do you think they were trying to protect him?
Well, so I will chime in with, you guys do have, 2 of you do have the tools to go in and kind of demand an address. You are federal agents, hypothetically. If you just kind of wandered into a police station and said, hey, where's this person live? They're not going to tell you.
Good point. In theory, if they have it in a database, wouldn't I also have access to it, maybe?
You would hypothetically, yeah. But again, it kind of comes down to, you'd have, crimes and stuff like that necessarily. You don't necessarily have an active listing of where everyone lives, but you could also probably, with enough time, dig through, DMV registrations and stuff like that and maybe find something useful.
All right, so 2 options, as I see it, I guess. We can either go back in there, flash one of our badges, tell them that we're undercover. Probably better if we use mine then. Or we can go back and I can dig through my computer and see what else I might be able to find.
Badge would be faster.
Badge would be faster. Also makes us known and accountable the rest of the time we're in town here to the police.
Yeah, what are the ramifications of blowing our cover at this point?
Well,
Plus, I also would throw out there as, again, as federal agents, you could go in and kind of, like, there's the town hall setup, too. Like, in theory, federal agents might be requesting stuff there at the post office that normal citizens wouldn't necessarily have access to. Again, like, it comes down to how federally involved do you want to get.
Well, I mean, I guess I could get fired if it doesn't go well.
Well, that's just they kind of write down your badge number and stuff like that, too. There's ways of flashing a badge and not getting it written down and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, well, what do you think? We go back to town hall? Or we go back into the police station? Or I just go and see what I can find on my computer?
So we were at the town hall. That was the gas station post office.
Yeah.
Yep.
So who in our group has the power to do that? The EPA and DEA?
Well, there's also an argument you could make for, like, if the reporter approached them asking certain questions, that might make some information pop up. But, like, so far you guys have kind of walked in, you've had vague conversations, and, like, you've not presented yourself that type of authority, I guess. Like, the admittedly reporter in a kind of rural police station probably not going to get you that far, but a reporter asking the right questions to certain people about certain things, that might get you somewhere, or just, yo, we're federale, that'll get you there somewhere quick kind of thing, but also you're in official channels at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, keep that in mind. Like, again, this is an investigation. Like, it's the last thing we did was kind of a little more straightforward. This one's much more of a, you got to find the leads.
Sure. So, if I go in, flash my DEA credentials, and I will do that if the group decides that is the best course of action for us, either with these police or with Daryl and Gus, was it, back at the post office? I'd be happy to do either. Problem is, if DEA is asking for Haskin, that kind of, puts a target on him, a particular one. If EPA is asking for Haskin, that's a little less serious, but also, why were we being so dodgy and weird when we were talking to him about him? What reason would the EPA have to come in undercover?
Illegal dumping, runoff. He could be an informant of some kind. Like, there are reasons that explain that.
Who seemed more trustworthy to you, the police officer or the post office worker? Or who would respond better to being flashed a badge?
I really don't know. Jet lag?
I would guess Daryl and Gus.
Okay. Your badge or mine?
It's hard. I'm having a hard time coming up with a story as to why we would be interested in this particular individual, at least from an EPA perspective. I don't know where he works. I don't know where he lives. It's hard to come up with a cover story when I don't know anything about this guy.
Well, I don't think we need to be forthcoming with the details. I think we just need to explain that. I think what we need to explain away is, why are we in there pretending that we had a fender bender? And I guess the answer to that is that we're undercover.
Yeah, again, like, from a law enforcement standpoint, the argument of, hey, we have this, like, source or contact or, like, CI or something that we're trying to keep secret, we can't get a hold of them all of a sudden, that's not a bad explanation for why you were trying to make up a story kind of thing. Like, you're trying to track down someone that you have, like, a previous contact with. That's a legitimate argument. That's a legitimate kind of explanation for that whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, probably EPA should do it then. I'm here technically on pseudo-official business.
Sure.
So I don't think there would be necessarily a career risk for me.
Okay. I don't want to set up a sword for you to fall on, so if that's...
No, and I also would say, based off your logic, like, town hall is going to run this down a lot less than the police station is. Like, they're going to be like, oh, shit, like, actual federal agency here? Well, how can we help, probably? Yeah, again, remember, like, different organizations react to federal agencies in different ways. Like, it's Normal people kind of scared of federal agents. Police feel like they're getting crowded by federal agencies.
Yeah,
But you're also lucky enough you pick kind of two vague enough agencies that like they have weird jurisdictions and like, no, we're not here for law enforcement reasons. We're here for people that are dumping paint in the river, whatever reason. And again, the Mississippi is a nasty enough river. EPA totally makes sense to be in the neighborhood.
Other option is we have Jumper go in there and flirt with him.
I don't think it's going to work. I think he's suspicious of me.
No, I meant the Gus and Daryl. I don't think they'd be suspicious of you. Badge is going to be a lot faster.
All right, Badge it is. Let's do it. Daylight's wasting, boys and lady.
Blow our cover.
So you're going back to the post office / gas station / town hall, yes?
So was Gus the town hall guy or the post?
He was the guy at the front desk. Daryl was off kind of to the side, more towards the gas station stuff.
Presumably, there were only 2 people in there.
Yeah, so there's only 2 people in there, yeah. It's just the 2 of them.
All right, all 4 of us going in this time?
Yep. That's up to you, I guess.
I will stay out just to keep me as maybe a backup when I come back to this or something.
That sounds good.
As someone they haven't met.
I'm fine with that.
All right.
You guys want me to take the lead on this one and chime in as necessary?
Yes.
Okay, so walk into the police station.
Gus is up the counter again. Like so, we'll say it's shifted to like evening-ish at this point. Stuff's starting to close down around town. He looks at you. He's kind of surprised. Back already, gentlemen?
Hey there, Gus, and nod to Daryl as well. Well, we had kind of hoped to avoid involving you guys too much in this, but unfortunately we are going to have to formally request that you help us with our investigation into Mr. Haskin that we had talked about earlier. We had this coming about a fender bender, but in fact, we are investigating a particular issue in the area. Mr. Haskin has been supporting us as an informant, but we have been unable to get a hold of him. I am associated with the EPA. There's been some issues recently in the area that we're doing an investigation on, and we really need to find this individual and flash the badge.
All right, so Gus is just kind of flabbergasted at all of this. Hey, boss, you want to come over here and help me handle this? This is, I'm sorry, what? You guys are here? The EPA is investigating something in town? Oh, shit, what happened now?
Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to tell you the exact details, but there's some potential toxic chemical issues that could be affecting the area nearby.
Should we be worried?
At this time, we've performed a risk assessment, and we do not believe there is a human health hazard.
That's good. Like, there's that crazy algae bloom a couple years ago that just choked stuff off in the rivers. That what we're looking at again? That was terrible. Gunned up all types of vehicles, or all types of boats.
Yeah, we've dealt with our fair share of algae problems in the past. This is maybe a little bit different. But again, I can't give you details at this time. I'm sure it will be made public in due time after the investigation has been completed.
Haskins. What was the first name again?
Joseph. Joe?
Joseph Haskins. Like, starts flipping through some stuff. Daryl walks over, kind of looks at you. EPA's back in town again? Shit. Ugh. Got rid of you guys a couple years back.
Yeah, we're like a bad penny. Just keep turning up, huh?
Can't keep nothing nice around here. So they're kind of flipping through records and stuff like that. Kind of Daryl looks at you at one point up. I hate to be a stickler for formality. Can I see a badge as part of this? No one comes here now claiming to be the EPA normally, but I need to see some type of formal identification, gentlemen. You understand, right?
Of course. I show him my badge.
All right, cool. Like, looks at it up, nods. Like, okay, cool. Like, yep, that's looks like that's an official badge. Like, yep, nods away at that.
Made a real medal and everything.
Start searching again. Haskin. All right, so I got some bad news for you. What's the correct name for you? Agent, Mr. EPA man.
Agent Franklin will be sufficient.
Fair enough. Agent Franklin, I got a little bit of bad news for you, I guess. So I can't exactly give you Haskin's address because Haskin doesn't seem to have an official address. Man kind of dropped off the grid a couple years ago, it seems.
Really?
Kind of flipping through some stuff. Last kind of official documentation I can find is some land sale up in Torres. I mentioned that town to you earlier, kind of thing. It's just some land transfer of some kind on the river. Kind of flipping through some stuff. Big plot of land up in kind of that foresty area up near the kind of the crook of the river as it comes around. Kind of flipping through some more stuff. I wish I could be more help. You said he's a witness or something, or informant or something? Between you and me, the guy never quite seemed the type. I apologize for being so evasive earlier, but man has a bit of a reputation around these parts.
What kind of reputation?
How do I put this politely? Daryl kind of like pushes the guy aside. Man's a goddamn racist Nazi skinhead. Him and his whole group are up in that neck of the woods. Gus tried to warn you off the area previously. All kinds of bad shit happens up in Torres these days. Last year they had something of a compound up there in that neck of the woods. He's an informant, though? Damn, that's lucky for him. What's the name of that group they're in again? The TD something?
TDC?
Yeah, that sounds right. More of a nuisance than anything else. They come into town every once in a while, buy supplies, and they go back to where the hell they're camped out. My guess would be at this kind of land parcel they bought.
I see. Would you mind marking it on this map here we have on where this land sale happened?
Yeah, so marks it down for you. Torres is indeed a real town, or former real town, spelled Torras. It kind of disappears up into kind of, as I said, it kind of is another national parky area, and it kind of is wrapped around by the Mississippi as it comes around. It's a lot of kind of open field and bayou country, though. It's significantly less lived in and settled than the surrounding area is. It is true unincorporated ghost town territory.
Gotcha.
He said the EPA is curious with Haskin. That's something. If you told me the man was dumping stuff in the river, I'd believe that. But informant takes all types, I guess. Did you go mentioning this at the police station yet?
We gave him the same story that we gave you initially. They did not cooperate.
Who'd you talk to there?
Who'd we talk to there?
Who did we talk to there?
Officer Harlan?
Yep. He's got some friend there. I can't remember which one of the officers it is, but I was hoping they might jog my memory. But if you went around asking for Haskin, that might be they might kind of have given him a heads up. He might be in hiding because, well, you know. But if you're here kind of looking for him in a more official capacity, I don't know. Your best bets go to Torres, I guess. But be careful. I can't say for certainty, but the local rumor is that the people that washed up with the gator attacks, they were hiking or exploring up in that neck of the woods. That's the affair they were last seen. They were doing some type of wilderness research or something like that. Kind of started snapping his fingers. They were with some like park service or something. Not quite that, like an independent thing, not a official agency. Kind of pauses for a sec. This all needs to be hush hush, I assume, right?
Yes, your discretion would be very much preferred.
Noted. Noted. Jesus, nothing like this ever happens here in town. Like the worst because a couple drunks shooting guns off in the woods normally. A full EPA disaster with that bastard as a focal point for it, huh?
As we mentioned, he's supposed to be working as an informant, and we haven't had a communication with him in a troubling amount of time. We are actually concerned about his safety to some degree. You say he has a friend at the police department. When you
Yeah.
say friend, would he be our friend, or would he be?
You know how those groups tend to be. Real tight knit exclusionary group. Kind of snaps his fingers again. Baskell. That's who you should be looking for. Samuel Baskell. I think he still lives up in that neck of the woods too. Yeah, he's a bit of a local kook, I guess. Like, he doesn't live in the same area, but he lives kind of at the outskirts of Torres. Kind of more towards the main road. It's hard to miss his house. Like, it's a bit of a rundown shack at this point. But Baskell, that's who you want to go talk to. He can probably find you. He can probably find you Haskins if you're looking for him. If he is indeed in that neck of the woods. Nothing goes on up here that Baskell doesn't know about.
Okay, but you said he has a friend at the police station, or did I mishear that?
There's been rumors that that damn TDC had some type of informant or something, or someone that worked at the police station. I don't know. Between you and me, lots of people come back from other places with a lot of dumb ideas in their head and do a lot of dumb stuff. We're a small town. I hate to speak disparagingly of our native individuals, but I'm assuming you know the rumors about Southern hospitality.
I mean, I'm from Virginia. Okay, so this Baskell, is he likely part of this TDC?
I don't think so. He just more kind of lives up in that neck of the woods. He's not there all the time, though. Kind of comes and goes to a small little homestead up in that neck of the woods. Real strange fellow. Real Louisiana kook, you could say. Real swamp type, I guess. You don't kind of see his type that much in these neck of the woods, but he's there. He'd be your best bet of trying to track down someone in that neck of the woods, though. He's always kind of trekking across that area as best I can tell. If he's there, I guess. I don't know where he goes, but maybe he goes further south. Just an absolutely strange fellow.
What does he look like?
He's hard to miss. He's kind of paused for a sec. He's got a bit of a kind of like makes a weird hand gesture, like a round symbol, like a bit of a hump, I guess you could say. A man walks with a bit of a physical deformity, I guess. Like I said, you'll know him when you see him. He's hard to miss.
Take your word for it.
Well, this has been an extremely helpful conversation, gentlemen. I want to thank you for your cooperation as well as your discretion, and applaud you for your diligence in the Postal Service and not divulging this information to any individual off the street.
But we wish we could have been more help off the bat, agents. Do be careful up there. There's lots of rumors flying around in that neck of the woods, and anything to avoid another EPA-related disaster in these parts.
Indeed. Well, it certainly seems like the situation may be a little more complicated in terms of some of the relationships among individuals here than we had initially anticipated, so we will move forward with great caution. Thank you again for your time.
If we can be any more help, let me know. And me and Daryl will be here for the foreseeable future. We're here every day, too. Not sure much more we could tell you, honestly. If you're trying to go up to that neck of the woods, though, that's just be careful. Unincorporated territory is unincorporated territory for a reason.
Understood.
Ain't no one living there anymore.
Well, we'll definitely contact you if we think of anything else you might be able to help with, and we definitely know who to call if we have a gator problem.
I suspect you agents can handle gator well enough yourself. Just remember, they can open up. The opening muscles are weak. Closing muscles are very strong.
Point taken. Thank you again, gentlemen, and farewell for now.
Happy to be of help, agents. They're kind of just like a little bit surprised this whole thing went down. They're like, oh shit, like this is a real thing. Like nothing like this happens around here.